Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mount Deurklink. Now in the last few episodes I worked on this part on top of the mountain, the highest part of the park. And in this episode, well obviously this area still needs finishing. In this episode I want to work on this area behind the mountain. Now it's gonna be a little bit tricky to also have paths to here and connect everything. So I think what I will do is just make a big coaster behind here, just to start the station over here, and just use that coaster to basically fill up this area. Now there are several types of coasters that I have considered placing. There's already a big B&M coaster here, so I don't want to place another B&M style coaster at this spot. So what I kind of want to do, I've considered making an air-launched vertical coaster, but again it would also use this track, and it would probably look a lot like the layout from my mega park. So for this episode I'm going to build a Morgan Hypercoaster. Now, not really sure where I'm going to place the station. It will be somewhere over here, and what I kind of want to do is just make a big lift hill here, make several big dips. Just going around here. Somewhere over here I want to have a turnaround, and then just go back to the station through here, and here finish with a set of bunny hills, and maybe also have a bit of a twisty section somewhere over here. Now I will also move the railway out of the way a bit. I want it to go around the coaster, and probably under some of these hills I'll extend the mountain, just so it looks like the coaster has been built to just fit over the hills. You'll probably see what I mean later on in this episode when more of the coaster has been built. These Morgan Hypercoasters, they're some of my favorite coasters to build. Their layouts can be pretty simple, mostly just hills. And something that this park doesn't really have yet is a coaster. A steel coaster without inversions. So a coaster that really fits the hypercoaster style. Okay, I think I will just start by trying to find a nice spot for a station somewhere here, making a nice turnaround, and then starting with the lift hill. Okay, this is the layout, which I think is final. So here, right out of the station, it drops down and goes up the lift hill, which is very tall. Might make it a little bit faster. There, I think that'll make it go up the, reach the top a little bit faster. Okay, yeah, like I said, it's pretty tall. Let's see, it's around 40 meters high, or around 40 meters high. I think for RCT2, that's high enough. And it goes up this hill here with well, first it has this diagonal section here at the bottom. Goes up the hill and goes down here again. I wanted to have some interaction with this suspended swinging coaster here, so that's why I decided to let it dip under into this mountain here. I'll make a tunnel here, and here there's a big turnaround. Now, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do the supports here, but yeah, there isn't much stuff here. Actually, these rocks, they look kind of glitchy, so I think it will be nice to hide it a bit with supports. And even when the supports are there, you can still nicely see the track of the suspended swinging coaster there. So I think even if I make some big supports here, it will still look nice. Yeah, I made sure to have a bit of some helix sections here in the coaster. I think I'll extend the land here a bit. Maybe also let the railroad go around it. Here there's the mid-course brake run of the coaster. First, the coaster immediately went to this section, but instead I decided to have a little helix here as well. Again, I will extend the mountain outwards and I'll let the train go under it with a tunnel. I think that will look pretty cool. Now, and finally, here's a section just with some bunny hills. And finally, here's the brake run, and here I'll have to make a nice transfer track. Now, it's a Morgan Hypercoaster, so it's usually good to just go simple. So yeah, I'll just make a simple transfer track here. First off, I think it will be good to do a little bit of landscaping, and then I'll start on doing some nice supports for the coaster. Okay, I've done some rough landscaping here. Yeah, I think I'll have to do some more landscaping here together with the supports. I think that's the best way to approach this. So for landscape, I'm just gonna make more rough cliffs like these, also with these volcano pieces. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to use for the cliff walls of this mountain. So yeah, just some snow on the more flat areas and more rocky on the steeper areas. Now, one thing that I really like about these Morgan Hypercoasters is that they've been built with many different support structures in the several parks where you can find them. So basically, when you want to do supports for these coasters, really anything goes. So yeah, I just tried with some bigger supports over here, but I just discovered that I much rather just put these these normal supports that you have, and just connect them with some of these mini suspended coaster track pieces. I think that will look really cool here in this turnaround section, without blocking the view too much. So I will just put these mini suspended coaster track pieces underground with the tile inspector, and then it will look like this. Yeah, they're all connected with these mini suspended coaster track pieces. Now, one thing that can be quite annoying when building a track with chain lift that goes downwards is that every little track piece that you build downwards, the chain lift will get disabled. So in order to prevent that, there's a little trick you can use. So I'll just paste the track piece with chain lift right here, at the height where I want it. I believe this is it. Maybe one lower. Actually, I'll try this height. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is instead of building forwards and having to enable the chain lift, we just build backwards. And as you can see, the chain lift just stays on. So that's just a little trick you can use. Now, this is probably also a good moment to finalize the color scheme, because yeah, depending on the kind of supports you make for this coaster, it can be very tedious to have to recolor them all. But I kind of like this combination of yellow and watercolor. Yeah, I think this will work quite well for this coaster, so this is what I'm going with. Okay, this landscaping is a lot of work. So I'll save that for a bit later, and for now I'll focus on the station of the ride, and then we can also let guests enter it. I think that will be another milestone for this coaster. So let's continue with that now. Okay, this station area is slowly taking shape. So here for the transfer track, you could see me build this here. What I did here is I built this track here on the bottom, which is inverted, and it's a kind of transfer track you sometimes see in parks. And basically, what happens is this part will rotate around its axis, and when that happens, the inverted part will actually be on top. And that would make it connect to this track here. So then the train would be able to drive into the storage track that's over here. Now I kind of built this into this into these mountains here. Here I painted the side of the building brown just to hide it a little bit. I'll probably put some trees in front, so some stuff like that. Anyway, still quite some work to do here in this area. It's nice to see the queue immediately filling up, but yeah, that's what happens when you have a park with several thousand guests. When you make a new ride, it will immediately become popular, and a lot of guests will rush towards it. Kind of like also in real parks, when a new ride opens, it will for sure be very crowded there. So it's kind of nice to see how much detail Chris Sawyer put into this game. This is a really nice effect. Okay, I'm just gonna add some more details here. Alright, now obviously still needs to happen, especially in the form of landscaping in this area, but also in this area over here. This coaster is pretty big, so it's still gonna be a lot of work. I think for this episode I've built enough. So for the end of this episode, I think it will be nice to take a ride on our new coaster, which I've named Steel Yeti. Now, before we do that, I kind of want to add another entertainer to the park. I'll actually add 2 entertainers. Now, I recently made a change in my patron system. So everybody who previously we had 2 tiers, I've moved all the benefits to 1 tier. So everybody who's a member of that tier now, the handyman tier, now will also get a spot in my park. Now, I will just quickly make some space here. Okay, that took a bit of work, but I managed to freeze the entertainers here in a spot that I like, in a position that I like. Let's quickly remove the pods here. Okay. So I have put 2 entertainers here to welcome guests into the park. This one will be Deurklink. Well, I'm not a patron, but I probably should have myself in the park. And this one will be the lovely Amy. Yeah, she's always very supportive of me. She's been a patron for a long time, so she definitely deserves a spot welcoming all the guests in the park. So yeah, Amy, I hope you love your spot above the entrance here. I think it's one of the best spots in the park. Okay, with that out of the way, yeah, let's... I think I've done enough building for today, so for the last bit of the episode we will just take a ride on this coaster and we'll finish the landscaping in the next episode. Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.